Fantasy readers and sci-fi readers alike talk about lore, but what is lore? I would like to explain that to you, and I also would like to encourage you to give your best example of lore in literature that you have experienced so far. Maybe you can give me some new advice on what to read. First of all, when it comes to lore, I think it's important to say that it deepens the value of the book, or it prolongs the length or the lifespan of the book, because with lore you can immerse yourself more into the story and the world, and you can reread it and you can see things from different perspectives. I have a few books beside me that are good examples of lore heavy books, and first of all it's the Silmarillion. I think you can see it like this. It's Tolkien, of course, and the Middle Earth and Lord of the Rings is lore heavy, and many readers have reread the books over and over again, and they find new things. Another book which is lore heavy, another world, is Dune, Frank Herbert. Very lore heavy. Sci-fi then, different from Tolkien's Silmarillion, and that one I haven't read more than once, so we'll see if I will continue. I will probably do that, but I'm stuck now on Rukio's Empire of Silence, which is also a Sanity series, which is also very lore heavy. And then the third one is obvious when you come to my channel. It's the Malazan Book of the Fallen and the World made by Steven Erikson and made by Ian C. S. Lamont. It's extremely lore heavy. I suppose you can be in that world for 2 decades, no problem. And then you also have video game worlds, for example, like Pillars of Eternity, which is a very lore-heavy game, and that you can be in for hours and hours, I suppose. But what is lore then? Lore is the sum of all facts in the world. It's the know-how about the world. It's about traditions, history, the background story of nations or of people, different tribes, for example. It concerns, of course, a fictive universe, but in reality, I mean, in the real world, we can say that we have a lot of lore in the real world as well. So it can be other things as well, like geography. Usually there are maps in these lore-heavy books, so geography is a clear example of lore. It can also be science. Not only if you read science fiction, but if you read fantasy too, some of the magic can be have a scientific approach, you could say. So it could be that too. In these worlds, which are lore heavy, there are usually myths and legends that help you to understand the world. It can be creation myths, it can be pantheons, different gods. Then, of course, we have monsters, and it can also be added the other perspectives or lore that is not so divine, so to speak, or so to spiritual. It can be things about social structures, upper class, middle class, the outcast, for example. It can also be about languages. Tolkien is very language heavy, with the different languages from the dwarves' alphabet to the elves' language. Also, Christopher Rucchio is very language heavy, and Dune as well. I think it's very obvious in the Sanity series that it has to do with social stratification between those who matter in society and those who don't matter in society. Lore can also affect characters' beliefs and motivations, and lore can be essential for the plot. Usually, it is. Lord of the Rings is the best example of this. The lore about the ring, of course, frames the whole story and the whole book. But it can also be conflicting lore, knowledge. That we have in Malasan Book of the Fallen, lore heavy, but different kinds of lore. And sometimes people believe in this lore, in the myths and the traditions, etc. Or they don't. They might be secular and they don't believe in that. Um, from other genres like Pillars of Eternity, but also Elder Scrolls, for example, you have conflicting lore. So I'm not so into the Elder Scrolls, but I understand that there can be different opinions about the lore for those who are really into that. So that is a very short description on lore. I would like you to add on this description that I made to you. Are there other aspects of lore that I missed? And especially then, what are your favorite books when it comes to lore or your favorite worlds? It could be fantasy, it could be sci-fi, it could be mythology as well. So please tell me. I'm happy to hear about that. So until next time, see you later and have a nice day. Bye.